sports fans, and welcome to another edition of Scott Sports 101 Monday Night Football. Well, we won't call it a pregame show, so we'll call it a halftime third quarter show because they just came off halftime and they're in the third quarter. And the Dolphins are beating the Steelers right now 14-10. We'll get to all that in just a moment. But first, here is today's Scott Sports 101 Monday Night Football trivia question. No team had ever appeared on ABC's Monday Night Football every season between 1970 and 1999. However, during that stretch, there were two teams that appeared on the show except one. One was the Oakland/LA Raiders. Who was the other team to accomplish this amazing fate? I'll have the answer later on the broadcast. It's Monday Night Football, Week 8. Are you ready for some football? The Pittsburgh Steelers and the Miami Dolphins are squaring off right now at Heinz Field in Pittsburgh. It's now in the third quarter. They've just come off halftime. And the Dolphins have a 14-10 lead right now. And so, I believe the Dolphins have the ball right now, The Pittsburgh Steelers are coming off a bye week. And the Steelers, they looked decent in the first half, but they didn't score in the second quarter. They kicked the field goal and scored a touchdown. But they find themselves trailing by 4 right now, and they're hoping to go to 3-4 tonight. But I don't know if that's going to happen. We'll see. And Mason Rudolph, makes his fourth start at a quarterback in tonight's game. This is his fourth start, and the Steelers, they've been decent, but they haven't been the greatest. The Steelers, and I got to tell you, I have picked them to win. So is my brother-in-law, and it looks like he's going to win the picks because I am 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I am 10-4, and my brother-in-law is 11-2. So it looks like he's going to win the picks either way. And so, Pittsburgh just they've struggled as of late. And Roethlisberger's out for the season with an elbow injury, but they have not played the greatest football. They've been fair, but they haven't been great. And Tomlin's really focused on getting this team to really turn this thing around and get better. And we'll see what happens in tonight's game with Pittsburgh if they can come away with the win. But they got to put the pressure on the Dolphins, on their defense and their quarterback, Ryan Fitzpatrick, as well. Meanwhile, and they have to have a good running game and passing game tonight as well. Meanwhile, the Dolphins are coming off a 10-point loss to the Buffalo Bills last week. The Dolphins are still winless on the season at 0-6. And they're looking to get their first win tonight against the Steelers. The Dolphins are leading by 4 right now, 14-10. And the Dolphins, the reason why they've been struggling as of late, and they have not played great ball. They've had several chances to win and could not capitalize on it. And they really got to put the pressure on the Steelers' defense and their quarterback, Mason Rudolph. But they're going to have a good running game, especially besides the passing game. And they got to not give the opposing team Pittsburgh so much room to run. And I really feel that that's what's going to be a contributing factor to this game tonight. And I just feel it's going to come down to I think a last-second field goal or a touchdown, but I think it's going to come down to the final seconds. Then again, I could be wrong. We'll have to wait and see. So we'll see what happens, and we're going to go over all of yesterday's action right now. You already know about the Thursday night. We'll start with that one. The Vikings beat the Redskins 19-9 at U.S. Bank Stadium in Minneapolis, and I had to give the game ball to Kirk Cousins because he looked good, and he just really he had a great game. And even though it was a low-scoring affair, and the Redskins they've been struggling as of late, offensively and defensively. But I don't know if it's just hasn't just been there. They have a hard time getting their second win. They've already gotten their first win, so. Now yesterday's action, the Seattle Seahawks beat the Atlanta Falcons at Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta, 27-20. And I had to give the game ball to Russell Wilson on that one. And Falcons had a chance, but they just could not come away with the win. The LA Chargers beat the Chicago Bears came from behind and beat the Chicago Bears by 1, 17-16 at Soldier Field. And I have to give the quarterback, I said by mistake, Phil Phillips, I meant Phil Rivers. I do apologize for that. So it's Phil Rivers, the Chargers quarterback, I have to give it to. The Detroit Lions beat the New York Giants 31-26 at Ford Field in Detroit. And I have to give the game ball to Matt Moore. I have to give it to. It's Matt LaFleur. I got to give it to the Lions quarterback. The Jacksonville Jaguars beat the New York Jets 29-15 at TIAA Field, Bank Field in Jacksonville, Florida. And I had to give the game ball to Gardner Minshew and the second and Leonard Ferrante. And the Jaguars just really had this game and played a good game. But the Jets, they struggled offensively and defensively, but they had chances. They couldn't get the lead, and Jacksonville just took it from there, and they just got the win. The LA Rams kept the Bengals winless as they beat them 24-10 at Wembley Stadium in London, England, and they go to 6-2 on the season. The Bengals they're now 0-8, and they are just struggling right now, and I think their head coach's job could be on the line. Could be on the line this week. We'll see. The Tennessee Titans beat the Tampa Bay Bucks 27-23 at LP Field in Nashville, Tennessee. And I gotta give the game ball to, and I gave it to Jared Goff for the Rams one. I forgot to do that one, and I have to give the game ball to the Titans backup quarterbacks. I think Mariota's still benched. I think the Philadelphia Eagles upset the Buffalo Bills at Ralph Wilson Stadium in Buffalo, 31-13. And I had to give the game ball to Carson Wentz. And Buffalo struggled offensively and defensively, but they have a lot of injuries too. And so we'll see if they can get a win next week. The Indianapolis Colts kicked a field goal and came from behind to beat the Broncos by 2 at Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis, 15-13. I have to give the game ball to Jacoby Brissett. And the Broncos, they had a chance, but the Colts came from behind and came away with the win. The New Orleans Saints walloped the Arizona Cardinals at Mercedes-Benz Superdome in New Orleans, 31-9. And I had to give the game ball. Drew Brees made his return after being out for 6 weeks, so I give it to him. In that case. Now, we will get to the late games in just a moment. But right now, it is time for the answer to the Scott Sports 101 Monday Night Football trivia question. No team has ever appeared on ABC's Monday Night Football every season between 1970 and 1999. During that stretch, there were 2 teams that appeared on the show except one. One was the Oakland/LA Raiders. Who was the other team to accomplish this amazing feat? If you said the team that's playing the Steelers right now, the Miami Dolphins, you are correct. After appearing on the show every year since its start, the Miami Dolphins finally missed making the cut, so to speak, in 1989. However, they would rejoin the show in 1990 and continue to appear every year through the end of the 1990s. As for the Raiders, they almost made the show every season, but their one missed appearance happened in 1998. They returned to the Monday Night Spotlight a year later. And I'll have another trivia question on my next podcast, so stay tuned for that. Now to get to the late games, the San Francisco 49ers manhandled the Carolina Panthers at Levi's Stadium in San Francisco, 51-13. I have to give the game ball to Jimmy Garoppolo. And that was in San Francisco, California. I have to give it to Jimmy Garoppolo, the game ball. But Carolina just struggled up offensively and defensively. 49ers had this game from the get-go. The Houston Texans beat the LA Raiders at NRG Stadium in Houston, 27-24. And the Raiders had a chance, and they could not capitalize on it. They just could not come away with the win, and I had to give the game ball to Deshaun Watson. Well, it was another loss. This one, mistakes cost the Browns in this one, as they lost to the Patriots 27-13 and gave Bill Belichick his 300th coaching career win of his career. And I just felt this loss was unacceptable for the Browns, and I feel mistakes cost them. The penalties, the turnovers, and the interceptions, and because these have to stop, because they've got the Broncos coming in to town. They're going to Denver to play the Broncos, this coming Sunday in Week 9. And I feel this is, and everybody feels this is a must-win for the Browns, or it's going to be tough to come out of this hole, because we want the Browns in the playoffs. This is a must-win. We've got to win a majority of these last 7 to 8 games. Baker Mayfield has to cut out these mistakes, not get sacked, and there has to be no penalties, no turnovers, no fumbles, no interceptions, no mistakes whatsoever. And these refs have to make calls on the opposing team. Open up your eyes and look, for crying out loud. Make sure it's the right call. But, and I just feel for the Browns, the bottom line is, that they need to start playing with efficiency and discipline, because we just can't keep losing games like this. We need to start winning games, and really, because they need to really climb out of this hole and dig themselves out of it, or it could be too deep to come out of. But we'll have to wait and see. But this game against Denver is a must-win for the Browns. And last night on Sunday Night Football, the Green Bay Packers beat the Kansas City Chiefs in Arrowhead Stadium in KC, 31-24, and KC just they had a chance, but they could not capitalize in. And Matt Moore, who was the Patrick Mahomes' backup quarterback, just could not. He just he had a decent game, but he just couldn't get the Chiefs to win. And I had to give the game balls to the Packers and Aaron Rodgers and Aaron Jones and Jamal Williams for that one last night. So, getting back to tonight's game between the Dolphins and the Patriots, I just feel I picked Pittsburgh to win this one, but I think it could go either way, because Miami's up 14-10 right now, and but I'd like to see Miami get their first win. But I know Pittsburgh wants to win and get 3-4, but I want them to go to Miami. I think I'd like to see Miami beat Pittsburgh so that we can still be tied with Pittsburgh at 2-5 for second place. So I think this is going to go either way, but I think it's going to come down to either a last-second field goal or a touchdown to see who gets the win. But my brother-in-law and I have both picked Pittsburgh to win this game tonight, but I'd like to see Miami get their first win of the season. Well, that's just about going to wrap it up for the Scott Sports 101 Monday Night Football halftime/third quarter show. I'll be back with the post-game show once the Monday night game between the Steelers and Dolphins has concluded. But until then, always remember, be a team player each and every day in every way possible. So long, everybody. 3, 2, 1, I'm done.